welcome in to this edition of Marvel Friends After Work, a podcast that talks about anything and everything related to the MCU. I'm Casey, my fellow hosts Nick and Joel. How are you guys doing this tonight?
As
So
we
good.
both take a
As you
drink.
both take a sip.
We were thirsty.
Is that just like that? Just rounds up the answer. It's been a long day.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
were cheersing. Friends after work.
Friends after work, man. And work is done. The work week is done. It is great.
Friday.
Do you guys ever feel like Friday? Like I felt like when I was younger, Friday was like the night. It was like, oh my gosh, Friday's here.
And
Let's go out and party. Nowadays, Friday hits and I'm just exhausted. Like exhausted, right? Fridays, I don't want to do anything on Friday nights. Am I the only one? Or
Yeah, you're too old. I think you can't be too tired to record a podcast, though. I mean,
never.
All we gotta
never.
do is sit here and talk about the stuff we love to talk about. So
This is the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
Drinking
crack a
beer,
beer.
just talking what you want.
Okay,
Not too
that's the
hard.
best.
If you could stay awake.
Is everybody
That's the
awake?
key. That is the key to stay awake.
If Nick falls out of his chair again.
I always thought of a
Watch
really
it.
funny superhero. It was a guy who had narcolepsy, right? And like would just fall, right? That's like where you just fall asleep wherever, right?
I think so.
I hope that's what
More
it is.
or less.
Okay. So he would just
Somebody
fall
out there
asleep
like
wherever.
that's not what it is.
This superhero would just fall asleep. Like he'd get called to like the biggest like invasion of aliens, and he would just fall asleep. And through random luck, the alien, like he would save the day without doing it. Like the day would just randomly be saved, and he would wake up, and everyone would cheer him on, Mr. Narcolepsy, and he just didn't do anything. And I felt like it would be such a fun kids comic. That's how I had this idea way back in the day, and I always thought it'd be so funny. Just a guy who fell asleep, and through random luck, everything worked itself out. The bad guys didn't, were captured, and he didn't do anything. He just slept the whole time. And he wakes up, and everyone cheers for him. He gets a statue and all that. Would you guys read something like that or no? As kids?
So, or like the bad guys just like slip on a banana peel or whatever, or is
Pretty
it
much,
like
yeah.
Spider-Man's in the background saving the day.
So I would
and
like
he just
envision
happen to fall asleep and think that he saved the day.
I was envisioning something like where the guy falls asleep, right? And as he falls asleep, he hits a manhole cover that pops down, which then like creates this huge chain reaction that like ends up like a building falls on the Thanos type, and he is deceased.
No,
and
that's
right
great.
as it does, he wakes up and he's like, "Oh, everyone's like, you did it," and he's like, "Yeah, all right," and, he's rubbing his eyes and whatnot. I always thought that'd be so.
No,
funny.
I love that. That would
That's
be great.
Glad to hear
That'd be
that.
good. I was confused at first. It's like because he like fell asleep and they win. So every time he falls asleep, they just win, or like
No.
Like,
But like
I
a chain
get that.
reaction happens. I'm a $1 million idea right there.
be great, especially a comic for kids and stuff.
It's like a butterfly effect. I do like that though.
Huh, yeah.
I could tie in to
Yeah.
Loki. I
Mm.
like it.
So not to go too off the rails, I want to hit a couple of our top news that came out before we dive into the Loki. So something that was unexpected that came out is that Marvel is on Disney Plus would be dropping on October 27th, Marvel Lego movie, Avengers Code Red. I had no idea this was coming. Nick, you got to be excited. Do you even know?
Woo! There's a little Tony Stark. It's a close one to me. Are you kidding me? I'm fucking geeked for this. I cannot wait for this to come out as
Forget
soon
the
as I
kids.
saw
Like
it.
Nick's gonna be like first in line if it was at a theater.
Wait, it's not in theaters, is it?
No,
No, it's dropping on
Oh.
Disney.
I said
Plus.
if it was.
Yeah, I would be dressed up in a Marvel Lego costume.
It's
Oh,
gonna-
dude.
It's gonna drop at 2:00 in the morning, and Nick's gonna be like wide awake. Just
Oh my gosh, I
Popcorn,
cannot
beer
wait.
in
look
hand.
at the Legos go.
I'll be just drinking a ton of Code Red all night, just waiting
There
for
you
it
go.
to come out.
Do you guys like past Lego movies?
Some of them, yeah. The Batman Lego was fun, but I didn't like the Star Wars Lego thing. I don't know. It's funny. The Christmas special one is the one I'm talking about. They like time travel and stuff.
I really enjoyed the Lego movie, the first one, and I went into it with no expectations, and it blew me away. Super impressed. Lego Movie 2, not so great. Batman was pretty good. Nothing will ever beat that top Lego movie. But we have the Marvel Lego video game on Switch. Me and my daughter play all the time, and it's super fun. And I like the Lego movies. Yeah, absolutely.
I think I only saw the first one, like the Lego movie. I did not like it at all, and I haven't seen any.
Really?
So when this came out, I was like, yeah, maybe this. I don't know. I don't know if I'll watch
S-
it or not.
Am I misremembering? Was there a Batman Lego movie, or was
Yeah.
Batman just in the Lego movie as
Both.
like a? Okay,
Both.
okay,
Both.
okay.
They did a
There
spin-off.
was one by himself. Yeah.
Right. Will Arnett voices him, and he does the
Mhm.
greatest Batman voice for the Lego movie. It's just perfect. And he's in the first 2 Lego movies, and then they spun off and did a whole DC version. You know, like,
Nobody cares about that.
it was actually pretty good. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. But you're right. It wasn't Marvel. But we're gonna get one.
I wasn't even like it's not really like my forte of movie to pick, but I was babysitting kids and they wanted to watch it, so we did. And I was like, that stupid song in that movie, Everything is Awesome. I think it was
Everything
that.
is
I was like, for
awesome.
weeks, I was like, oh my
Everything is
word,
awesome.
I'm never
Proud of the
watching it
team.
again.
Everything
Stuck
is
in my head
awesome.
forever.
Yeah. Oh, that
Now I'm
sounds
singing
great,
it's gonna
dude.
get stuck in my head.
Sounds
No.
Nick
great.
obviously
Sounds
loves
great.
it. Yep.
We watched that movie. It was so funny how like it ends up being like Will Ferrell and all the things they do in that movie. The Kraglin, which is like the crazy glue cap, and it's awesome. That movie, I thought that movie was so good, so good. Way to go, Lego!
There you have it. Nick says everything is awesome.
Everything is
No,
awesome when
don't
you're
do
part of a
that.
team.
No.
We're a part of a team, guys, and everything is awesome. So yeah.
Speaking of awesome, people might think this is awesome or not. Werewolf by Night is supposed to be coming in color for around the Halloween. You guys excited to see it in color, or do you guys appreciate just in black and white?
So at first, I thought it was like something they didn't need to do because I thought it was great in black and white. And then I listened or read an interview with I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name, but the director basically said that they were coloring it up as a homage to some of these Hammer horror movies that were made in like they started in the 50s, but the better ones were like through the 60s where they started to do the Technicolor stuff. And it's basically like the red and blood stuff gets emphasized more than everything else. And I think it'd be really cool as an adaptation for Werewolf by Night, where you just like the little slash scenes where you see like blood splatter across the screen. I think it'd be fun. It'd be campy for sure, but it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. That was in particular though. Like I thought that was so Disney. You can't show red blood.
That was what I was thinking.
Realistic blood. This is like
red
ketchup.
blood.
Yeah, if you watch any of these Hammer movies, like they stab somebody and it literally just looks like ketchup is pushing out. Like there's no
Blood's blood, though. That's what they're showing, even though it looks
But-
fake.
Right, and now they've got like Daredevil on Disney Plus and Logan and Deadpool. There is a plethora of
Right.
blood to be found on Disney Plus if you want to. So now they don't have to hold back as much, I think. So it's
But
great.
there's like
to
a
see.
separation on Disney Plus, like your account, because when they
Yeah.
updated that, you had to get permission to be able to have access to everything or just something. So
I'm
maybe
old
the
enough.
color
I
version.
didn't even have to ask for permission. It's nice. It's nice.
I still feel like this is like 16 and up. Like 16 might even be
Definitely.
pushing it. Like you could be way younger and
This is
still
13 and
handle
up.
it.
PG-13. PG-13 movies have blood in them.
But when
it
these
is
movies
super
came
cool.
out, though, they were like the drive-in theater horror movies,
Right.
and at the time they were like the first to show gore on the screen.
Right.
So you had to be 16 and up to go in to see these movies. But yeah, now probably a 12-year-old could handle it. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm taking my daughter to her first haunted house this year, and she's 7. So
Ooh.
we're gonna have a good time. That's for sure. Anyways, I got my Werewolf by Night Lego guy here. Guess we can't really
back
get
them up a little bit.
Yes.
What? I guess
So
we
back
He's
can't.
them up
just
a
not
little bit.
focusing.
Why
Yeah,
won't they
focus on-
focus on
Put them on your forehead. We seem to be focused on your forehead.
yeah, for
I
There
real.
you
can
go.
see it.
Anyways,
I can see
it's
the comparison between you two. These could be twins.
It's awesome. Part of the new Lego series that came out with a ton of minifigs. We got 2 Moon Knights, Kate Bishop, Wolverine, Beast, Agatha, Hawkeye, Storm. I got a bunch of people over there. Can't even see them all. Anyways, so it's
No
really
man
cool.
thing though.
No man thing. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Soon to come, though. Soon to
That
come.
It's
might
not his
be
time. It's not his
that might be
time.
my
It's
favorite
coming.
thing about the coloring up is them showing man thing just like melting somebody and
It's gonna be
ripping apart
great.
somebody. Yeah.
So what threw me off in this show, like I loved the show more than anything. The special was amazing. Everything about it was amazing. But what threw me off was at the very end, and I didn't know who these characters were. I didn't know Man Thing, but I didn't know the main character's name, who I can't think of right now. What is his name?
Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, but what's his name?
Jack Russell?
Thank you. There we go.
Yeah.
I
Jack
haven't seen
Russell.
it, guys.
Like
Come
a
on.
terrier.
And I knew the name.
I said it right as you were saying it. I remember it. I knew it was a dog. I couldn't think of what it was though. Okay, so
Johnny Dalmatian.
when he had like the blue hair at the end, I like had just didn't realize that was going to be the thing, right? I didn't realize that's like what he looked like, and I'm going to be very interested to see throughout the entire show just his appearance. Like he looked so much different when they showed him in color on the beach at the very end than when he did throughout the entire show, along with Bloodstone or whatever her name is.
Elsa. Yeah, Elsa Bloodstone.
And the stone and all of that. The color is going to be so freaking awesome. And this was great black and white. It was great when it was released. This is how it needed to be released. Like it had to be released black and white, or it wouldn't have had the same appeal, in my opinion. But a year has passed. Marvel is doing nothing for Halloween. So they're at least just dropping the filter, and we're getting to be able to see this show as it was originally filmed, which is in color. And it's very cool. I'm very interested. I do think it's kind of a cop-out by Marvel with this writer strike, not having something else prepared to drop that is actually fresh and new. But I can't complain. Marvel's slowing things down. We've been talking about it for almost a year now. Like, we've been doing the show for 9 months, and we've talked about it from beginning to now. Marvel's slowing things down. We're just not going to get as much content from them. So I take what we get. I don't have complaints, and I'm going to try to stop complaining about movies and shows and anything. Like, it's just be happy. So I'm sorry.
Well,
but
to be honest,
yeah.
like as far as dropping something new, which would be extremely nice, they have Loki coming, a new episode of Loki that week. The Marvels comes like less than a week and a half after that. And then they decided to drop this in color. So they do have a lot of stuff coming out around then. That would really be compacting the
I just
schedule,
want a new Halloween special and Christmas special every year. Like, don't drop a movie right around it. Just do a Halloween special and do a Christmas special and drop your movie in November. And that is what we all want. That's what we want.
But I don't think that it's regular color, though. I think it's like they're mimicking the Technicolor.
Yeah. The vintage, so vintage color.
Yeah, like even at the very end when they do the Somewhere Over the Rainbow and you see Elsa Bloodstone and things turn colors, but they're still very dark except for the red.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what he was talking about when they're going to color it up. Not the very end, the post-credit scene is full color.
Right.
Right. At least I hope we're not talking about that. No.
I wouldn't mind it in that full color, honestly, but I'll take it in anything. I do think it'll be cooler with this like vintage classic horror look, which is sweet for Halloween. That's what I'll be watching. We're already watching like Halloween movies. Like I got the inside of my house. You can't see it right here because I'm in my office, but the inside of my house is all decked out in Halloween right now. We are not waiting for October, so I'm very excited for this show.
Wow, waiting till October, we have to for Loki. But it did get moved up, so we got a little bit closer. It moved one day from the 6th to the 5th. I don't even know why that change is made. I think that's slightly weird. It's like one day we gotta move it. Like by one day, like woohoo! I mean, I'm excited it's coming sooner, but I was like, whatever. But we also got a different time frame. It's gonna be dropping at 9 instead of like 2 a.m. or something like that, which is a little bit more practical, at least for here. I don't know what it is in other countries. I heard like in the UK and other places, people said it's not a convenient time. Yeah, who cares? We're not there.
Yeah, we've
dealt with that. They're going to complain. Yeah, they're going to complain about, it's dropping at 3 a.m. our times. Like, that's what everything that's been dropping, whether it's Star Wars, Marvel, blah, 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 any of that stuff, it's all been dropping at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning.
Do you think that's because they get more like viewership in the UK, where they drop it at more prime time for that? Rather than us, which doesn't make sense to me, but I don't know.
I struggle to
I have no idea
imagine
what it is.
that other countries spend more time on tablets in front of screens than the American people do.
That's true. That's true. So why drop it at 3 a.m. for the East Coast, midnight for the West Coast? It just never made any sense to me. But they've
Yeah.
changed, so good for them.
Yeah,
Unless
people are
there's
going to show
something
up to work to be like, "Did you happen to watch the episode? I stayed up all night. It was so good. I fell asleep halfway through, but it was good."
Have you ever seen the movie Strange Wilderness, Joel? Where
No.
Justin Long
My favorite.
paints eyebrow or
Didn't I
he
just send
paints
that to you the other day? That GIF?
eyeballs.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
We
Justin
were because
Long
we
has
said
the-
Justin Long was going to be in the Goosebumps show, which is awesome, and I can't wait for that to come out either.
That's
Non-Marvel related.
Hey, that's Disney related.
Yeah.
Not Marvel, but yeah.
We should get paid by Disney.
There you go.
We should get sponsored.
Well,
Sponsorship.
I'll call up what's his name, Bob, whatever. I'll see
Iger?
what, Iger. We'll see what
Yeah.
he thinks about it. He must be
Iger,
listening.
Iger.
Hopefully.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So, but we're going to focus on season 1 tonight because season 1 needs a little extra spotlight time. Plus, there's a lot of people who have jumped off the Marvel ship. They've lost faith in the Marvel direction that we're going. And a lot of people came back for Loki season 1, like a ton of people, and then they left again. And a lot of people are coming back again because of season 2. I'm not even sure what you're gesturing, Joel.
I'm gesturing. Just get back off the ship. I don't care. Like, if you
They
didn't
need
like
to
it,
join. It's good.
I don't know. Do
We
you
need
to
people
remind
on the
people that
ship.
don't like watching what we got. I mean, I don't know. Loki is primo. It's probably the best of phase 4. But if that's all they're sticking around for, then maybe they're not. Maybe their heart's
But
not
there's
in
a
it.
lot of people jumping in and out. So I would just want to glorify season 1 and kind of not recap it, but just talk about it in season 1, preparing for season 2.
Yeah.
So first off, I wanted to start with there's a
best.
couple specs. There's a couple of specs I want to go over. It did drop all the way back in 2021. And today, at least at this recording, the top 10 most searched sci-fi shows on the internet, it sits at number 5 out of all the shows out there. So that's pretty good. Number 1 on the list is Stranger Things, if anyone was curious.
Really?
But number 5
I thought you were going to say Doctor Who.
Doctor Who, I don't think was on the list.
The hell is looking up Doctor Who anymore? That was
well,
1990s.
used to. No.
Yeah.
It was
2000.
They still-
Wait till 4 years ago.
I was gonna say that's old, right? It's not current,
been-
right?
They've been making new episodes since 2009.
Really?
Ain't
Whenever
nobody
they
been
did the
watching
reboot.
since 2016, but they're still making them.
Mm.
It's kind of like Law and Order.
Doctor Who's great, especially
show
if you're
never
trying to
went.
figure out the whole timeline thing and how you can change timelines. Doctor Who is the writers are the best in it. Stephen Moffat, chef's kiss.
You just kiss him? Oh, okay. Yeah, chef's kiss. Okay.
Chef's kiss.
I just thought you were trying to kiss him. Show's gotten off the rails, right?
I was just that got weirdly
We're 20
sappy
minutes in and
somehow
we haven't even-
weird.
Sorry.
Oh, we just.
Do you not have anything to say about it, Nick? Or did I just throw you off the rails with the
I don't even know what the question was. In fact, I'm sorry.
yeah. That's my fault.
We'll start a new question, and Joel gets to answer first because he's derailing us the most. Joel, what's your favorite episode from season 1?
Episode 5 was probably the best one, I think. It was the something into madness, right?
They're in the
I wish I could
void.
remember that. Yeah. That's when they're in the void. Loki gets sent into the void at the end of episode 4. Yeah. Anyways,
You watch it?
I did just rewatch it, but I didn't keep track of which one I was watching at the time. Anyways, he shows up with all the Loki variants that are all just hey, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah.
Kid Loki, child Loki, or
Alligator
future Loki,
Loki.
alligator Loki. Right. And Owen Wilson has one of the best lines in the entire show, and he goes, "Man, you throw a rock out here, you hit a Loki." So, because
They're the ones that survive. They're like the
there's
cockroaches
nothing but
of the
Loki's
void.
here. Like, what
Yeah.
are we doing here? This is
The
ridiculous.
cockroaches of the void, for sure.
I think this is a tough question because I don't think it's a simple answer. I think
not.
upon first watch, like the first time watching the show 2 years ago, nothing was cooler than that first episode. Seeing someone get pruned, seeing Loki see his life, like what was going to happen, seeing the inside of the Avengers Endgame movie that we see. Like it was just really cool to get those cameos. This was like still pretty fresh into phase 4 and we hadn't seen any of those characters and it was just really nice upon watch to like get that. And in fact, I think it was like better than watching the Kang because you knew who those people were. And at the time, 2 years ago, Kang wasn't on my radar. Really, I didn't get him. I didn't know him. I didn't understand. And upon rewatch, seeing Jonathan Majors just act his ass off made the last episode so freaking cool. I don't even care about the show, the episode at all. Just Jonathan Majors took over, and it was amazing. So it's a hard question, but honestly, if I just had to say what my favorite episode was, I'd probably say episode 1.
Fair answer. I liked the first half of episode 1. I didn't mind the flashbacks and stuff either, but him like going through like the process of getting like established at the TVA was just it was funny, it was great, it was entertaining. Nothing beats the first half of that episode, and then I did really enjoy the Void, like so the 5th episode. It was just different. It was a lot of fun. And Mobius driving to pick up Sylvie when she needed like to get out quick and like a pizza delivery car. It's like, guys, this is so great.
He's like
Journey into Mystery.
They make a plan to fight the what was the creature that they were fighting?
Goliath.
Thank you. And he's like, it's simple, but it'll work. You know, it doesn't have to be. And then they show the pirates guys just get like attacked by Goliath. And he's like, all right, you know what? Maybe we should rethink this one here.
Let's think this one through just a little bit longer.
Great show. Great writing. Great show. Great acting. It was great.
Was there something about the first season, especially on rewatch and seeing other properties stacked on top of it, that you would have liked to see done differently?
The way they paced out the episodes was just so much better. Like they left a little bit of a comeback for the next episode for the reveal, but there wasn't like unanswered questions from the beginning of the season throughout, right? Like Miss Marvel and a few of those have had these things that pop up in episode 1 and then they don't get answered ever, or even if they do, they're like episode 4. Loki did really well about doing self-contained episodes that still just added on to the mystery until the end. So I'd like to see more of that. Yeah.
And people didn't have to die at the end of every episode to make you want to come back to watch.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can always be critical about things. Obviously, this is the best TV show that's Marvel's ever produced. But the Nick Faber action-packed Marvel wanted a little bit more action in the first few episodes of this show. I thought it really kind of heated up towards the end. But the first few episodes, I wanted a little bit more action, and that's just me being greedy. I really and honestly, it probably is better because there isn't any. But that really is the only thing I could really think of. And that I want this season to be just like last season. Just be great. Don't add in all these deaths. Don't do what you did with Secret Invasion. Don't do what you did with She-Hulk. Don't give me that bullshit. Give me an awesome 6 episodes. This is what you've been focused on. Give it to me. So I don't really have too many complaints about the first season. I just want the season 2 to replicate it.
To counter that, though, starting in the 2nd episode is when we get the variant and we get to see Sylvie, and she kills
it's like there's
5
some
characters.
Right.
So
it's just kind of.
And then she continues to kill people.
Yeah, but you know what the best? Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll get to this. I don't want to spoil any questions. Actually, okay. I was going to say what the best thing about the show was. So.
What was your favorite thing about the show?
Mine or
wait, least favorite or favorite?
Oh, yeah, we're doing favorite.
We're doing least
you wanna-
favorite.
You
What's
asked
one
what
thing
would
you
we
would
like to
change?
see?
Yeah.
I said, what
Change
would
or
be one
see
thing you would like
continue?
to change?
Joel
So
apparently
what
said the question.
It works. My answer could go like either way. See, episode 3, when they're kind of stuck in the apocalypse because Loki accidentally zapped him there, was my least favorite episode out of them. Now, I thought it was done well. Like, there was nothing wrong with it in that sense. It just didn't do anything for me. And it was, Joel, as you said, each of the episodes was very self-contained, which was nice, but it still left for the story to keep growing. I think what annoyed me the most was they were stuck in the apocalypse and their whole goal was to try to get out, and they had like a mission. They're like, we have to get on that ship, we have to get out of here. And the whole episode was built on that. Just for at the very end, it's like, oh, they didn't succeed. They're just not going to get off. And it's like, you worked this whole time to get there, and then it just didn't happen. And then it didn't matter because they got pulled out and the apocalypse happened anyway. So it was almost like a waste because it was almost like She-Hulk. It didn't matter. Like whatever went on in that time didn't matter. And I get it. They were using the scene for like character building, especially between Sylvie and Loki and making a little bit of a relationship. I don't know. I think you could have done it in a different way. I just didn't. It didn't do anything for me. It felt a little bit like just like an episode per se.
It was totally character building. It's just
And
that's what the whole episode was about. Character building. Yeah. You did get to see some cool powers though. You know? No?
Yeah, you do.
So? You got to see that one shot of them running around and Loki like stops a whole building from falling down on him. Didn't know he could do that. That's pretty cool.
See, I freaking loved the Owen Wilson, because I can't remember his name, so I just keep calling him Owen Wilson. What's his name?
Mobius?
Mobius. Thank
Mobius and Mobius.
I like Morbius and Mobius, and there's too many of them are
Morbius.
going. I can't remember him. So he's Owen Wilson to me. Anyways, Mobius and Loki, when they do all the apocalypse runs, it is like the coolest thing in the world. And he like it is like it was. I remember the first time I saw it, my mind was blown. They were going to these places that were about to just be erupted, and he's got to make a big deal about it to see if anything changes. And it was so freaking awesome to see like the shit explode. It was just so crazy. I kind of wish it would have been a little bit more gory. Like that was such a cool idea. I thought the Sylvie part and all that. Yeah, character building. I see where you were going with it. I thought you were about to down talk the Owen Wilson Loki apocalypses, and I was
no, that's like one of the best parts.
Yes, and that's where I was going to. And then I was like, I'm not going to spoil the rest of the show. That was one of my favorite parts. That was probably my favorite part of the show. Like not my favorite episode, just like one of the coolest parts ever in a Marvel show. Is so cool. Joel, you got nothing to say about that?
I got plenty to say about it.
You don't got nothing to say.
They were at Mount Vesuvius. Is the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, which was Pompeii. And
which we all know that story. I think it's such a gruesome story.
Yeah, this you can go back and look at it. There's people just like cuddled together in their bed because they didn't know that it's gonna pop off like that. But if Loki would have maybe yelled a little bit louder, maybe.
Did you guys see Night Museum 3: The Secret of the Tomb?
Casey's movie that she can reference on the show is Night of the Museum.
No idea where they're referencing.
I just watched the first one with my daughter. No, I don't think I've ever seen 3. So
I love all 3 of those movies, but there's a scene where because Owen Wilson's in it. He's like the cowboy and then like the Roman guy. And there's a scene where they're in the museum and they go to the exhibit of Pompeii and a volcano explodes and they're running from it and it's funny. But I was like, wow, he plays with the Pompeii scene a lot.
Yeah, he's really good.
Like I make a movie reference and nobody gets it. Come on.
It's like a 1 foot tall Pompeii, right? It's like a kid recreated a volcano.
That's
so and they're little bitty toy soldiers.
It's just like baking soda, probably,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably CGI, but
yeah.
Not quite as cool. Go on, Joel. What were you saying?
I don't know. What was
we were talking about the apocalypse, and you never said anything about the apocalypse. You didn't even like that part, it sounded like.
I did like that part. That's what I was talking about. Mount Vesuvius, Pompeii.
Right.
They were playing around out there. I thought it was very cool that they could go and manipulate things and not actually get caught with anything out there.
Yeah.
So especially
fun.
getting to see Loki act up and act a fool. He's like, dude, just make some bird noises. We'll start off small. Just make some bird noises.
And Loki just jumps and lets the
He
animals
jumped
out.
on the table. Yeah. Starts talking in Italian, Greek. Yeah.
That's such
Latin.
a cool part.
Yeah.
Latin.
The best part was like, none of it matters.
Nothing matters.
You ever wish you could say that
He
about your
frees
own
the
life?
goats.
Something goes wrong, you're like,
Many
none of it
times.
matters.
It doesn't matter. Sometimes I do gotta tell myself that. Just walk away.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's fine. Your guys' first time watching it, if you could remember, did you trust Miss Minutes or were you suspicious from her from the start?
She was very suspicious.
Very suspicious. That voice.
Very
It's that
propaganda.
voice. That's the most like
Yeah.
non-trusting voice. Too
The nice southern voice.
Yeah,
Hey,
too
y'all.
polite. Oh, too polite, dude.
Hey,
No.
Let me
Hey,
walk you
y'all.
down this road that you stumbled upon now. You're now a prisoner.
And we will prune you to the void. Yeah.
No,
I
I
didn't-
didn't about it. Yeah, agree.
Nothing about her seems right to me. Supposed to be a pretty cool villain in the next season, though.
I
Right?
hear she's also might be popping up in Deadpool 3.
Everybody is
Everybody's going to be in that
Deadpool
movie. What am I
3.
saying? Every single person's being in that
I'm
movie.
pretty sure Marvel just called Joel to see if he's got if he can play a part.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll be in the
But-
movie. I don't know
Anytime.
who I'm going to be,
Yep.
but I'll be in the movie. I'll be a bystander. Probably someone who gets killed, but I'll be in the movie.
I'll be there. No problem. Yep. No
Freaking
question.
Harry Potter is going to be in the movie, so everyone's going to be in the movie.
Oh my god.
You think he's going to be in it?
He is in it.
Radcliffe?
Daniel
Great
Radcliffe
secret
apparently has
role.
a
Secret
role.
Oh, dude, and it's a Wolverine variant. There's no secret about it. We know it's going to be Wolverine variant.
I kind of hope so.
It's going to be. Bet all my life on it.
I hope so. That'd be fun. That and the little kid too. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Kid Deadpool. Yeah. That shows that. Fuck Loki. I'm sorry, dude. Just get me to Deadpool 3. That's all I want, dude. That's all I want. I cannot
It
wait.
doesn't come out.
It's gonna be great.
Does it come out next fall or is it the following year?
I thought it was May.
Oh,
I thought
it's
they
so
pushed it
far
up to
away.
May.
That's so
May
far away.
2024.
Yeah, it's so far away. Oh,
Not
I wanted
that-
to revisit something now. Damn it! Now that you asked me what we wanted for the next season of it. So when the first season started, I really thought they were going to touch on this whole idea of there being the free will versus not having your free will. And I really wish they would have touched on that. They kind of started to mess with it in the first episode, but there's like this whole thing, predeterminism versus free will, argument I'm talking
I
about.
think the theme of free will was always in the background of absolutely everything during the season. And at the very end with like Ravana Renslayer, is that that was her character's
Yeah.
name, right?
Mhm.
She kind of says, I'm going in the search of free will. I think they will be tapping into that more as it goes because it's like Loki's almost like the definition of find out what free will is because it's ironic. He sees Sylvie in particular, who just wants to be able to live a life like everyone else, which is like partly what free will is, what she's fighting for. But at the same time, he wants to be king and rule over people, which is taking away people's free will. And it's almost like he's wrestling with the idea of like, do I agree and want free will for people or do I not?
Yeah,
And
he's
so
got
it's
that
like-
whole great quote about like the greatest lie is freedom or something like that. He's like, people are meant to be ruled, meant to be served. And then by the end of the season, he's like, nope, this is bad. We should not have a ruler over everybody else, which would be the predeterminism. So
And that's when we
Maybe.
start getting a hero, baby. I need a hero.
Which episode was that in? The song.
Episode 1, the end of it.
Very end of one. Yeah.
Yeah. It's when Sylvie comes walking up, but they can't see her. and
Oh, that's
he's
right. I remember that now.
He's got to be larger than life. And it's like, it's not a he, it's a she. But yeah.
Getting technical.
The whole idea of like he who remains is a god who's omniscient, who has already seen everything through, and he can literally manipulate to where you don't get to make those decisions, those butterfly effects. So he took away free will. I think that's really interesting. And they like just barely touched on it. So yeah, I think it'd be great for the second season for them to
I
bring
think we're
that
gonna
in.
get a little bit more touching on that.
Hmm.
Because
A
at the
little
end,
more
more
touching.
characters.
Gotta be
Because at the
careful.
end, more and more characters, like what was it? Agent B12. She wanted free will. Mobius started to realize he doesn't have free will. Everyone started to become more aware of that, and so I think they're definitely gonna be tapping in on it.
You said B12 again. That's the vitamin.
Then what is it?
B15.
Is
Yeah.
it B15?
100 B15. Yeah, because we made that joke a while back, and I was like, "That's the energy vitamin that you take."
Well, I know that,
Yeah.
but I just thought it was also B12. Maybe she takes a lot of it. She just
B15.
looks like a B12.
She looks like a B12.
Have you ever seen a B12, Nick? Do you know what it looks like?
I don't think so. No.
Then don't talk. It could look like that.
Oh my gosh, this show.
Do you guys have any
Yeah.
last thoughts on season 1 that you want to spotlight before we move on to season 2 next week?
All the stuff that they tore apart at the end of the Void, if any of that makes a callback, I think that'd be great. And the Kang Tower instead of Avengers Tower, they had the Thanos copter. They had all kinds of weird Egyptian statues and stuff at the Void at the end of time. Yeah,
I would love to have some of that come back.
Play out.
Shout out Throg and Loki Alligator. Let's get them in season 2.
I love when
That'd be great to see out.
was it in the 5th episode when they're sitting like in that little house or whatever, and Mobius is like staring at the alligator like, so is it like, is he really an alligator? Or it's like the whole conversation. But he's a Loki, he could be lying.
How do you know he's a Loki? Yeah. Well, he's
He
green,
says-
isn't he?
He's wearing a crown.
Alligators are not green, by the way. Just gotta say. They're black.
What
and
color
yellow.
are they?
Black and yellow.
Black and Yellow.
Nick would
that's what
know.
that song's all about. I think that song Black and Yellow is all about alligators.
Never heard of it.
I'm just not shocked.
Surprise, surprise.
Steelers.
Could be the
Steelers
Steelers.
The
song, right?
Steelers.
Go
Pittsburgh
Lions.
Steelers.
Who
So
that?
it's college football weekend.
Oh, it's football weekend. I got a golf scramble on Sunday.
But it's football. And you're
I
gonna
know,
go
I know. It's
golfing?
very tough.
Wait,
I did
you're
not know it was
left-handed.
Sunday when I signed up. I was the whole like we signed up like a month and a half ago. I was like, yeah, October 24th. That's Saturday. I'll be there. And it, like last week, my buddies were like, all right, don't forget we're golfing on Sunday. And I was like, the fuck? Who put this on Sunday? That's the Lions Day, dude. What are we doing? So I'm gonna have to stream it in my golf cart while I'm 6 beers deep and 7 fireball shots out. We'll see how it goes.
Fair
Welcome to my
enough.
life, except for the shots. I'm at work normally, like listening on my phone, like, hell yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
The
That's
Saints
tough. I am
are-
normally like,
The Saints are going to have a winning season this year.
yeah, they are. They're gonna be good. Yeah, they are. It's gonna turn into a football conversation real quick.
And with that, that wraps up this week's episode of Marvel Friends After Work. So don't forget to rate, subscribe, review our podcast on Spotify or on YouTube or wherever you're tuning in this week. You can find us on our socials. Check us out on Twitter, Reddit, and Instagram. And you got any theories or topics that you want us to hear about and you want us to talk about, you can find our emails on our socials. So until next week, and we'll dive into our thoughts and predictions and hopes for season 2 of Loki. I'll see you then.
This is my Loki character.
That's a good one.
Lego.
He's got